Welcome into another telecast of LMC Varsity Sports alongside Ian Sachs and Sean McGraw. This is our first football game of the 2017-2018 season, the 10th year of sports here at LMC Varsity Sports. And Ian, Rhinebeck is a team that is coming off a disappointing season last year. They're 0-1 too. They lost to a team, Hal Jane, that they usually beat consistently. And they play a Pine Plains team coming in an hour and a half up north. And they just beat Pauling 12-0 to shut them out, and this should be an interesting game here.
Well, some excitement here for Rhinebeck, the first home game of the season. So you know that the fans are going to want to see a victory for their Black Hat Nation, and you know I think it's going to be a good matchup. We'll see Rhinebeck excited to try to avenge last year's struggles, and we'll see if they can do it here against Pine Plains.
And we will, and the opening kickoff is next here on LMC Varsity Sports.
Definitely. The second page, for some reason they call it intimidation. Is that what we're trying to do? His name is Mr. Palumbo. Good luck, guys. Good luck, guys. Introduce yourselves. Good luck, guys. Hey, good luck. Make the line right here, yo. Line up. You guys can go over your hands. That is the tail. That side is the tail. What is the tail? Tails. Both tails, tails. Let's see what it is. It is a tail. Pine Plains is one a toss. We'd like to quickly receive the defer for a second. Defer, sir. Okay. Pine Plains is one a toss, and we'll defer to the second half. Okay, guys, you want to do it. Okay, we'll go to you guys. Okay, push it back. That way, Rhinebeck will receive. Okay, guys, shake hands and stay healthy. Let's get it, boys! Go, guys! Let's go, boys! Go!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's game between the visiting Bombers from Pine Plains and your Black Hats from Rhinebeck.
Back here on LMC Varsity Sports alongside Ian Sachs, I'm Troy McGraw. Our cameramen are Danelle Clark, Sean Kelly, and Rob Moretti, who's also LMC Varsity Sports producer. Is kicking off for Pine Plains is Matt Funk, and that one will be returned by Pedro Peter Cueto, and he's got room, and he crosses the 50, the 40, down to the 30, and one man to beat, and he will take it all the way to the house. That's exciting.
And for the Black Hats on the opening kickoff, number 8, Pedro Cueto.
Here in Rhinebeck, taking it to the house, and I think Pine Plains might be a little sad that they elected to defer. Rhinebeck starting this game off with a big run. Just found the gap, got to the sideline, had all green in front of him, and Cueto starting off with some excitement here.
Great blocking. I think the only time he got touched was at the 5-yard line by Luke Imperiardo. I think he got it was untouched the rest of the way. It was a decent kick, and probably about a 90-yard. Took it from the 10, so a 90-yard for the extra point. Kenny Soriano would really have a penalty on the play.
And prior to the kick, the indication was offsides by the defense.
So it's offsides by the defense. Even though he made it, it was a dead ball. So they'll move it up.
Penalty
They will retry the kick.
Happened before the kick, so
That's how I was blown
We'll
down.
redo it.
So a 90-yard kickoff return. Oh wow! But it was already before the kick,
extra
so
point
even though they
attempt
made
was
it,
no
that
good.
didn't count. I think that's new in the rule because you used to be able to just decline that, which Coach Iannello was trying to do, and it works out against Rhinebeck as he missed it after.
But nonetheless, they'll take the 6 points from the touchdown, and now it's up to the defense. We thought we got the first look at the Rhinebeck offense. We're going to have to wait a series. Their defense are going to be the first ones that get to touch the field. And we'll step aside before the kickoff.
Go Rhinebeck!
So kicking off will be Kenny Soriano, senior. Missed the extra point. The one he made didn't count because the play was declined. I think they moved it up. Must have moved it up a yard because they're still kicking from the 40. Big hit there, and dropping it. So it's dead where he drops it. Another new rule for safety purposes. Because they don't want the guy to get leveled after picking it up. Caleb McCall, after he dropped it, you can't advance it. So that's a break for Rhinebeck. And Pine Plains won't be able to take it back.
And
like
the kickoff was
Pedro
down
Peter
for
Guido
Pine
did.
Plains
So it'll be 1st and 10 on their own.
on their own 18-yard
On
line. It'll be
18.
first down and 10.
So 2 plays and both in Rhinebeck's favor.
Of course, besides the penalty on the point after,
Oh
but
yeah, 3 plays.
but nonetheless, now this is where we finally get to see good old solid football, offense versus defense.
Right, 3 special teams plays to start the game. This is our first offensive and defensive snap. And it'll be the quarterback, Matt Beam, co-captain. Number 12, the lefty. He airs it out first play, and the pressure from Tyler Simon causes the incompletion as he was blitzing, and Caleb McCall can't make
Pine
the play.
Plains pass falls incomplete.
So it
bring
is
up
2nd and
down.
10.
And he didn't have any time to set up there to make the throw. He had to rush it because of the blitzing defense, and you see that he just aired it out a little too much for the intended receiver, McCall.
Yeah, the small linebacker Simon came with the heat, and so after being right next to him, Evan Proper will go out to trip out, so no one there, and Proper gets the forward pass, about 3 yards. So it'll be 3rd and 7 from the 21, and we'll get to see Rhinebeck's 3rd down defense tested here. Is pretty big play if you get them to go 3 and out after scoring a 6-yard return.
Yeah, good screen
Excuse me,
pass
Bombers pass
there,
complete
drawn
for number
up
7.
from
However, the
Pine
play goes for no
Plains,
gain. It'll bring up 3rd down and 10.
but a good job from the Black Hat defense, sniffing it out and not letting him get any yardage as we see now, 3rd and 10. So definitely not the place Pine Plains wants to be in. 2 plays, no positive yardage so far.
And a 3rd pass, 3 passes in a row, airing it out and out of the outstretched arms of the wide receiver, Kyle Stratcher. So Rhinebeck gets the 3
Bombers
and out,
pass
and they'll
intended
get
for
the
number
ball.
33 falls incomplete.
112
It'll
gone
bring up
by
4th
unofficially
down.
as it's kept on the field, but that was good defense. That play before looked like a couple more yards. I guess they marked him down when he went to the ground at the outstretch.
Stratcher had space there. If he was able to reel that one in, it would have been a huge pickup for the Bombers as they would have picked up the 1st down and more getting across the 40, but just a little too much air on it.
And we'll see the punt team for the first time. Caleb McCall, the wide receiver, will also punt, handled by Galern, and a illegal block in the back, it looks like, coming against, and now another penalty.
On the return
coming
for the Black Cats,
twice.
number 11, Ben Galern. However, there are
And
2 flags on the play.
Taking before the penalty. Great field position for Rhinebeck without the penalties, of course, but that's the block in the back is going to push them back some, but otherwise they would have started off well in front of midfield with a very short field, possibly trying to double up their score here.
They offset, I think, because one was, right? I think one might have been like a face mask against Pine Plains on the end of the play, and the illegal block in the back by Matt Carteraro. for tomorrow. Yeah, so they'll offset, so it'll be from where he caught it. Either way, it's at the 50.
And the indication on the field was an illegal block in the back against the Black Hats. So after the penalty mark-off, it'll bring up first down and 10 from midfield.
No, I think it's just the penalty tacked on from the end of the run. He got up to about the 40-yard line. 10 yards marked off from that, so they move it back to the 50. But still great field position for Rye-Neck. You'd love to start a possession at the 50-yard line.
As this will be run by Mike Colasanti.
Black Hat carrying the play by number 13, Mike Colasanti.
And
Picks
that's
up about
the
4
first
yards. It'll bring up
positive
second down.
yardage play we've seen all game so far. Of course, the first Rye-Neck possession was returning the kickoff for a touchdown. Pine Plains, a quick 3 and out without picking up any positive yardage. So Rye-Neck moving in the right direction here.
So it'll be 2nd and 7 from the 47 of Pine Plains. So one play in there already in positive territory, and that one Ben Galern will take. I think we have 2 opposite offenses here, as Pine Plains was throw heavy.
Okay, carrying the play number 11, Ben
Galern.
Galern.
From even
Picks
years
up about
ago when they
3.
had a
It'll
good
bring up
thrower
third
in
down and 4.
Thomas Pipolo, they were always run first, and that's what we're seeing once again. Is they'll be 3rd and 4. As Galern got 3 after Colasanti got 3 yards.
Pound and ground, good old style football, and hey, it's working for them. Now they're in a 3rd and short opportunity here. They might go to the air, but my guess is they're gonna just continue to run it. That's what they've done so far.
And we'll see a 3rd different carrier, and he'll get it. That'll be Tyler Simon. So Simon will get the biggest carry of 7 yards.
And Black Hat carrying the play by number 28, Tyler Simon.
Play. Galern, Colasanti,
It'll be first and 10 for the Black Hats.
First and 10 from the 36, but Rye-Neck knocking on the door
From the
ready
Pine Plains
to go up by
36-yard line.
2 scores, not even 3 minutes gone by.
Well, you see that Rye-Neck has a plethora of weapons on the offensive side, and that's what you really need. You want to be able to hand the ball off to 2, 3, 4, 5 different players and know that they're going to pick up even a couple of yards.
And that one will be handed off to Pedro Peter Cueto, who scored the kickoff return.
And on the keeper for the Black Hats, number 8, Pedro Cueto.
As he'll keep
Picks
it.
up no yards, it'll bring up second down.
And it'll be no gain. 2nd and 10 from the 36-yard line. So we see Cueto under center, listed as a running back, but the run heavy. He's playing quarterback.
And Cueto's such a strong physical presence there at the quarterback position.
And we'll see him going back. He'll pass it, and he'll float it up and looking for Simon, but it's incomplete. On the coverage was Matt Beam. He threw into double coverage.
On the play, Black Hats
he showed a
pass
decent
intended
arm.
for number 28, Tyler Simon,
Beam
falls incomplete.
had the angle
It'll bring
there.
up
He was
third
watching
down.
the ball, almost made the interception there, which would have been very costly. Good thing that Cueto overthrew that ball. If he underthrew it, that would have definitely been an interception for Beam.
It could have been a pick 6 too, as it would have been him and Cueto, the 2 quarterbacks facing off at each other, because was not anyone else really close to that could have tackled him. So it's 3rd and 10 from the 37, which you got to think is probably 4 down territory here. But they'll hand off to Simon. This will make it easier. And who needs a 4th down when you get a fumble? How is he not down? Looked like both knees were down.
Black Hat carry on the
can't
number 28,
review it.
Tyler Simon. However, he was on the field.
He was only wrapped up.
With the recovery
Nothing had
to Pine
touched the
Plains.
ground yet. His knees were still in the air. That's why
It'll be
that
the Bombers'
fumble
ball,
counts.
first down and
a
10.
huge break here. You had
From their
3rd
own
and long.
18-yard line.
And now Pine Plains not only couldn't come up with the stop, but they came up with an even more important thing, the ball.
It was close though, but yeah. Obviously no reviews in high school. The only good thing for Rye-Neck is it's like you've been like a like a decent punt because you put them at the 18, they turn it over. So Pine Plains has a tough field position, and they'll make the tackle right away at the line of scrimmage. That was Simon, so Simon redeeming himself. Still gets credit for 17, so he gets about 24 yards on 2 carries so far for Simon, but he fumbled.
Stratcher with the run there, picked up 2 yards.
Bombers carry goes for a short gain. It'll bring up
First
second down.
run play
about
we
8.
see from the Pine Plains offense. So they saw that the air attack wasn't working on their first drive, decided to go with the run and pick up some positive yardage.
We'll see with that big line, they have some real big players on the line. The center, Nolan Talbert, very big. As false start or delay a game.
Did he say it? Did he tell you?
They'll be pushing Pine Plains back. So even after the positive yardage, now they're in a
And prior
second
to
and
snap, we have a delay
13.
game against Pine Plains.
It was a delay
After the
game.
5-yard penalty, it'll bring up second down and 13.
Now we'll see, now that they're in long distance yardage, we'll see if they go back to the air attack or have another pass play opportunity.
How was that? How was that?
And they will keep it, and he'll be sacked. As basically getting back to the line of scrimmage was Matt Beam, so it'll be 3rd and actually lost a couple yards. 3rd and about
And on the sack
17,
for the
18.
Black Hats,
And
number
Third
28 Tyler
18.
Simon and
Great
number 51
defense there
Francesco
from
Branca.
Ryeneck getting through the line of scrimmage, and
After the sack, it'll bring
now
up third down
Pine
and
Plains
long for the Bombers.
has to throw the ball. This game not working out for Pine Plains yet.
Matt Beam will get the snap. Going back, the lefty will air it out, and he'll throw it to nobody. He was looking for Stratcher, but he threw it about 10 yards over him. Great defense by Peter Cueto.
Pine Plains
And you'll get
pass falls
to force them
incomplete.
to
It'll
punt
bring
out
up
of their
fourth
end
down.
zone, which is always a good thing for when you take over. So punting out of, albeit to be right at the start of the end zone. It's always worse when the punter's got to be his back against the goalpost, but this will be in the start of the end zone for Caleb McCall. And back to return will be Cueto on the right side and Galern on the left. And that one almost gets over, but a great play by McCall to jump up, and a good punt as Galern will get it at the 45. He'll go to the 33, so a 12-yard return for Ben Galern.
And on the return
Got
for
away
the
with
Black
a,
Hats, number 11, Ben
illegal block in
Galern.
the back. I think Cueto maybe, but nonetheless,
On the punt
it's
return,
a
carries the
first
ball
down from
into
the
Pine Plains territory,
33,
where it'll be
and
first down and 10 for the Black Hats from the
Ryeneck
Bombers' 32-yard
out-possessing.
line.
Well, besides the fumble, they've had the ball for more time here.
And another great field position for Ryeneck. They're starting at the Pine Plains 33-yard line. I mean, you can't ask for better field position. First starting at the 50, now you're at the 33. So great short field, putting a lot of pressure on this Pine Plains defense, which came up with the big fumble on the last drive.
Yeah, the fumble was at the 19-yard line, and also starting at the 50, that was despite
And
a
prior
penalty.
to the snap, we have offsides on the defense.
Offsides on the defense, that's right away.
It'll
First
be a
and
5-yard
5
penalty, which will make
from
it
the
first down
28.
and 5 for the Black Hats.
Well, with the penalty now, you started on the 28 before you run a play. We got
And you can't afford to have that even when you're already defending a short field. You have an offsides penalty. Just unnecessary penalties like that are what cost football teams games.
at all levels. And this one will be handed off to Tyler Simon, and he makes a nice stiff arm, makes 4 or 5 guys miss, and then carries the pile to the for a 20.
Cats carry the play, number 28, Tyler
3-yard
Simon.
gain. Tyler Simon looked like he was down after about 5 yards, and no, he wasn't.
25-yard pickup. Bring
Simon
up first down
spun out
and
of
goal for the
2
Black
tackles
Hats.
there first cutting to the inside, then cutting back to the outside, and he sets up a 1st and goal from the 5-yard line. Everything breaking Rhinebeck's way so far.
Now, as long as they don't fumble, they should get points here as Cueto gets the snap, and it'll be a keeper from shotgun. Gets by 2 defenders, 3, and he'll score his 2nd touchdown of the game.
Touchdown number 8,
90-yard kickoff return on the first play of the game, and now a 5-yard TD run on the keeper for Pedro Peter Cueto. And this was the score that Pine Plains won last week against Pauling, 12-0. Now they face a 12-0 deficit. So they had a shutout last week, and now the first play, they gave up a touchdown on the first play this week. A change, and they'll go for 2 to make it 14-0.
Smart here. You missed the extra point on your first touchdown. Make it 14-0.
Especially the way the offense is rolling, and the Pine Plains bench is trying to say nobody's covering that man, and they see it, and he throws it, and it's incomplete.
And the 2-point try.
So it'll be 12-0. So we'll be right back on LMC Varsity Sports.
However, after the Cueto touchdown, it is now 12-0.
3 gone by in this first quarter here at Rhinebeck High School, and the Black Hats lead 12-0. Back here on LMC Varsity Sports, 12-0. Rhinebeck out to an early lead here behind Pedro Peter Cueto's got 2 touchdowns, 90-yard kickoff return to start the game, and a 5-yard TD run, and Kenny Soriano will kick off. It's fielded at the 25, fumbled, and picked up by Pine Plains and immediately blown dead. So he fumbled it forward,
Farmer's fumble on the kickoff return was recovered by Pine Plains.
And it was recovered by
It will be first down and 10.
1st and 10 from their
For Pine Plains at approximately their own 29-yard line.
Second time they fumbled the kickoff.
Pine Plains continues to have miscue after miscue. They're very fortunate that they recovered that one as it rolled right toward the charging Rhinebeck defense. But good hands there from the Bombers to recover it.
Yes, the Pine Plains Bombers and the Rhinebeck Panthers, as that one is run for a first down on the far side of the field, or just to the markers, very close. They've been just short by
Bombers carry on the play, picks up about 8 yards. Will bring up second down and 2.
9 yards, just short of the first down marker. 2nd and 1 from their own 37. But the key so far, you mentioned it before, has been field position. Pine Plains, when they got the ball, they started on their own 19, and they started on the 19 when they recovered a fumble, their own 19, and now they're on the 29, as where when Rhinebeck got it, besides scoring the touchdown, they got it on, and it's picked up by Pedro Peter Cueto, his own man wrecking crew, and the ref got in the way, and the ref blew in a pick 6.
Black Hats interception, number 8, Pedro.
You gotta get out of the way, sir.
Cueto
on the return, he brings it to the Bombers' 8-yard line, where it'll be first and goal
if it wasn't
for the Black
referee,
Hats.
he for sure would have been in the end zone. The intended receiver there was proper, but Cueto just busted through the line of scrimmage, took that play, and ran with it.
It was a short pass, so he gets down to the 8, so it's about a 25-yard, no, actually it's about a 35-yard return, because he took it about the 42, 43, because they were on the 38, and they threw it about 3 or 4 yards. So you got about a 35-yard interception return. Pedro Cueto, that would have been his 3rd touchdown of the game, and it would have been great because it would have been of the 3rd variety. As Ben Galern gets to the 3, he would have had a pick 6.
I can't carry on the play by number 11,
kickoff
Ben
return,
Galern.
and a run. Then he just would need a throw, which he could do.
Pick up of about 5 will bring up second down and goal for the Black Hats.
Cueto absolutely dominating this Pine Plains team, and it's still the first quarter, showing he could do it in a variety of ways.
So the refs slowed him down just enough where the quarterback, Matt Bean, was able to run and get him after throwing the interception. And Pine Plains is really struggling. Rhinebeck's playing well, too.
Total domination to this point from Rhinebeck, but of course, we have to remember it's still early in the game.
And first touchdown for
Blackcats
Ryan scored by
touchdown,
somebody
28,
other than
Tyler
Pedro Cueto as Tyler Simon scores from 3 yards out, and Ryan is up 18-0. Just take the points, and they will. So we'll see Kenny Soriano kick the extra point. We're going to make it 19-0.
Everything working in Rynek's favor here, dominating the game so far.
And it'll be through.
And the
Kenny
extra point for the
Soriano.
Blackcats by number 5. Kenny Soriano is good.
So he's now 1 of 2 from extra points. It's 19-0 with 3:30 to go in this first quarter. We'll be right back on LMC Varsity Sports in this game here on LMC TV. Back here on LMC Varsity Sports, kicking off will be Kenny Soriano, and it's a short kick, I think unintentionally, and it's fumbled and then picked up again. So the third time a kickoff was fumbled, but getting right on top of it was Zach Zico. So that was definitely not intentional.
Well, I mean, he had a very difficult position to try to make that play as he was retreating, tried to make the over-the-shoulder catch on it.
But the kick by Soriano, that was just a miss hit. I don't think it was like a pooch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would you pooch it after they couldn't handle the other kicks?
And you saw the tee that he was kicking off of, it flipped up too. So that was definitely a bad kick, but
it almost worked to perfection.
It did.
They nearly recovered another fumble, but Pine Plains can't handle any of the kickoffs. A late fumble there. They call him down though, which he was. As Pedro Cueto is in on it, along with multiple guys. That's Francesco Branca, Zach Gibbs. About 3 or 4 took him down for no gain.
Branca, the captain,
and the run play by the Bombers goes for no yards to bring up second down and 10. And on the tackle for the Blackcats, number 9, Felipe Denza.
And this will be a run for like no gain as well by Kyle Stratcher. And nothing is working.
Bombers carry goes for a short loss. It'll bring up third down.
Didn't even get back to the line of scrimmage. Mastroni with a 2-yard loss on that play, so it'll set up 3rd and 12.
Yeah, boys is here. Is that Quinton?
A definite, passing situation here.
Go, Ryan!
And if you're Pine Plains, you just need to move the ball a little, because you're down 3 scores already. It's the first quarter. As they'll flip it, interesting play call, and they'll get to the 45. They'll be about 3 yards shy, and Evan Proper on the halfback toss.
Just get it out in space, and you don't worry about the 3 scores now. Just worry about getting the first down. All you need is that first down. 1 first down, move the ball, then you get 1 score. You can only worry about 1 score at a time. If you start worrying about all 3, it's going to become 4, 5, 6.
And McCall with another punt. This one will bounce in Pine Plains' favor. Gallard fumbles it, and it's picked up by Pine Plains, and they take it to the 15. So that's the break Pine Plains needed.
Everything had been breaking in Rynek's favor so far. Now Pine Plains gets a break of its own.
And luckily for Rynek, they're already up 19-0.
Covered by the
so
Bombers.
It's not
It'll be
the
first
biggest,
down and 10 for Pine Plains.
biggest
From
deal.
inside the Blackcats' 20-yard line.
But just inexcusable. He took his eye off the ball at the last second, started to look upfield to try to make a return. In order to make a return, you have to have the ball. Got to focus on catching it first.
And McCall, give credit to McCall as he punted it kind of wobbly. And it was like a line drive kick, and it was a little tough to handle for Galern, and not 100% sure who hit him, but Luke Impierardo picked it up and ran about 6 yards, and then Galern got him. And Rynek, nothing going Pine Plains' way again, as that's a sack. Stumbling was the quarterback Beam, and he's sacked by Zach Gibbs.
Blackcat sack on the play by number 66.
Off the high
Zach
snap,
Gibbs.
Beam had to just recover it, turn himself around, and by the time he was able to look upfield, There were 2 Rhinebeck defenders right there.
So after fumbling the punt and the other team recovering it on their own 19, that's exactly what the doctor ordered for Rhinebeck, is it's a 10-yard loss. So it'll be 2nd and 20, and it'll be Pine Plains in shotgun. So I think they've been in basically for every play almost. And they'll pass again. Well, they haven't passed in a while, but they'll complete it, and it'll be a 5-yard pass and ripped down by Matt Cortaro, the tall sophomore. And it's about a 3-yard gain that was thrown to McCall,
Short gain on the
had
play
the ball
for the
thrown his
Bombers
way
and bring up
most of
3rd
the
down
time.
and long.
It's about the 6th or 7th pass, only about 3 or 4 completed, but they've all been short ones. And that's perfect defenses. They only gave up 3 yards, basically.
And still 3rd and very long here as Pine Plains is facing a 3rd and 18 situation. So the Rhinebeck defense so far on the first 2 plays has done a good job of preventing that miscue on the fumbled punt.
So they'll air it out again, and it'll be dropped at the last second, and Rhinebeck gets a break because that was going to be 6. As that was a great pass on the run.
Bombers
Mark
pass falls
Brunel-esque by
incomplete.
Matt
It'll bring
Bean
up
there
4th down.
to Matt Funk, and Funk dropped it at the last second. Looked like he was in for 6, and that's a bad break for Bean.
Funk had plenty of space there right in the middle of the field. He cut through the Rhinebeck zone defense. And
As Pine Plains calls timeout, and we'll be right back. LMC
And that
Varsity.
brings us to the end of the first quarter.
Back here on LMC Varsity Sports, 4th and 15 following the drop by
4 seconds left
Matt
remaining in the
Funk.
first
That would
quarter.
have been a touchdown. It's 4 seconds to go, and Pine Plains called timeout to think about it. They'll bring in their backup quarterback, and he'll fumble it, and that was Andrew Holtzapfel, and he'll fumble it and have to jump on it. So interesting.
And Pine Plains
move
recovers
there,
the fumble. However, on the 4th down play,
as it looked like on the
there will be a
sideline.
turnover on downs.
Getting
And that
tape
brings
on
us
his
to the
arm
conclusion of the first
is
quarter
Matt
as
Bean,
we
so
return to
that would be
action.
bad if
It'll be
Bean's
Black
out.
Hats football, 1st and
Starting
10
quarterback.
from their own
And we'll be right
32-yard
back.
line.
End of 1. 19-0 Rhinebeck. Back here on LMC Varsity Sports, and we'll see if Rhinebeck can continue their streak of putting points on the board. 19-0. Although they fumbled, and they fumble again, and this one will be a pile. And the officials will have to see. And it goes to White, and it's picked up by the quarterback. So that's
And on the
defensive
play, there's a
back.
fumble for
Matt
the
Bean.
Black
So
Hats,
second time
recovered by
Rhinebeck
the
has
Bombers
fumbled.
of
First
Pine
time
Plains.
they stopped him, and it didn't go back to haunt them. Actually,
It'll be
third
1st and
time
10
now.
for the Bombers
because
from the Black
Galern
Hats
fumbled the
31-yard
punt,
line.
the fumble by Tyler Simon, and now a fumble by Cueto. So 3 times they fumbled, but they still lead 19-0.
And Cueto needs to wrap the ball up on that one. He left it out in his hands too much, just squibbled free, and proved to be a costly fumble for Rhinebeck. But now it's up to their defense. They have to come out on the field and keep that shutout going.
So 3 fumbles. Pine Plains has fumbled 3 times on kickoffs, but they recovered all of them. Rhinebeck's fumbled 3 times, they haven't. And back at quarterback, after sitting out on a big 4th down and completing a pass back to the line of scrimmage, but a flag comes in late. That was
The pass play
completed to
goes for
Evan
no
Proper
gain.
and Matt
However, there is
Bean,
a flag on the field.
as the 4 officials will discuss what the penalty is. Any idea, Ian? Face mask.
And the indication is a face
Correct.
mask penalty
Face mask on
the Black Hats.
Rhinebeck, so that'll
On that play and
advance
on
the
the
ball.
tackle for the Black Hats, number
The way it was
28,
called,
Tyler
it had to be
Simon.
against Rhinebeck. It was on the. It was looked like it was right after the hit, and which it is the face mask.
So that gives Pine Plains a
How's it just 5? It's an automatic first down, but why is it just 5 yards? That would be 10 or 15. All right, so a 5-yard penalty, but a first down. It keeps a first down. Instead of being 2nd and 10, it's 1st and 5 for the Bombers. And it'll be Matt Beam still in center. He hands it off to Proper. Proper makes gets by a couple guys and gets to the first down marker, and it'll be a first down for Pine Plains. 1st and 10 from the Rhinebeck.
And the carry
20.
for the Bombers results in a
good
first
job
down.
from
It'll be
Proper
1st and
cutting
10.
through the hole and then
For
getting to
Pine
the
Plains
second
at
level
the
of the
Black
Pine
Hats
Plains
20-yard
defense, making a couple guys miss before finally being pulled down after a 7-yard pickup.
This one will be handed off and stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Is proper. He'll lose 2 or 3 yards, so it'll be 2nd and 13 from the 23.
Black Hats were
On the run
blitzing
play,
on that
several
play.
Black Hat players in the
Broke
tackle,
through the line of scrimmage.
led by number 54, Luke Pucella.
Got on the edges as well, and just too much
On the play,
for
it
the
was a
Pine
2-yard
Plains
loss. It'll bring up
offensive
2nd down
line to
and
handle.
12.
I do too.
So it'll be 2nd and 12 from the Rhinebeck 22, and airing it out will be Pine Plains, and that'll be nearly a touchdown, but unable to handle the throw once again is Matt Funk, and he's in a funk. He's missed 2 balls that he should have
The Bombers
caught.
pass falls
That-
incomplete.
He put it
It'll bring up
perfectly
3rd
between
down.
the defender and the opening space, as on the coverage was Colasante and Galern, but a good pass from Matt Beam, but once again Funk can't handle it, and that would have been 6 again.
And that's been the Achilles heel of this Pine Plains team so far. Dropped passes. Beam has put the ball right in the right spot. He just needs his receivers to finish the job and make that catch.
So it'll be 3rd and 12. Beam will get the snap. He'll throw it, and nearly intercepted by Curtararo. So it'll be
And the Pine Plains
4th
pass
down
falls
coming up.
incomplete. It'll bring up
Cartaro
4th
got
down.
his hands on that one, nearly reeled it in. The tall defensive back nearly made the catch for the interception.
So it'll be 4th and 12, outside field goal range, and on the 23, an obvious going place, but it is 4th and 12, so it won't be that easy to get the 1st down. And the snap to Beam. Beam will roll out, and he'll keep it. He'll have a lot of Cats in front of him, and he'll get pushed out at the 15. No, yeah, 15. So he'll be 5 yards
On the
short
carry
of
for
the
the
first
Bombers,
down.
number 12,
So Rhinebeck will
picks up
take
7
over
yards.
1st
However,
and
it's not
10
enough for
from their
first
own
down.
15. So once again, we see
As a
the
result,
Rhinebeck
turnover on
defense after
downs. It'll be
fumbles.
1st and 10 for the
getting
Black
pushed
Hats
against
from their
the door.
15-yard line.
The Galern fumble, they were on the 11. They immediately had a sack, and then here they were on the 29, and they stopped them on 4th down at the 15. Their defense doing a good job with facing tough field position.
And field position's been the name of the game, even now that Pine Plains has been across midfield and in Rhinebeck territory. They still haven't been able to capitalize and find the end zone.
So it'll be a reverse, and a good one indeed, but a block and staying in bounds, but looks like it might be coming back, and finally getting tackled was
Black Hat carrying the play, number 13, Mike Colasante. However, there is a flag
Colasante.
on the field.
looked like a holding, right? And it is.
And the indication is a
Shot?
holding
Yeah.
penalty
That-
against the Black Hats.
That play was pretty clear early on that there was a hold. That's why the flag came in so early. But what a run by Colasante, even though it's going to get called back. It looked like he was going to be down around the 35-yard line, and then he just kept pushing for an extra 10 yards, breaking a couple tackles.
Albeit it didn't count.
Well, that's the name of the game. You got to make those count.
Still first down, but 10 yards where it happened, so it'll be 1st and
That is a 10-yard
15
penalty
from
from
the
the
10.
spot of the foul.
as it happened.
So it'll bring up
at the
1st
15,
down and 15
at
for the Black
the
Hats.
20, 5 yards after the line of scrimmage. So it'll be 1st and 15 from their own 10. Multiple backs on all sides, fake and a reverse similar play, but this time Galern gets it, and he'll be tackled at the line of
Black Hat carrying the play by number 11,
scrimmage.
Ben Galern. Goes for no gain. It'll bring up second down.
2nd and 15 for
And now
Rhinebeck.
now we'll see how the Rhinebeck offense responds to being pushed deep into its own territory. They've been benefits of having great field position. Now with the field position flipped, they have to find a way to get and charge ahead.
So Cueto will get it 2nd and 15, and he will hand off right up the middle. Will go Tyler Simon for about 5 yards. Get back to the line
Black
of
Hats carrying the
scrimmage.
play number 28, Tyler Simon.
So it'll be
Picks up
3rd
about
and
6
10,
yards. It'll bring up 3rd down and 9.
3rd and 9 at the own 15. Do we see a pass here? I mean, we've seen one today. It was overthrown.
I think Rhinebeck needs to continue with their running game. They've had success, just need to pick up 9 yards here.
Pound and ground and pound. That one is handed off on the delay, and taking it will be Mike Colasanti, and he had one man to beat, and he can't get by
Black
him
Hats carrying
as
the
he'll
play
be
number 13,
tackled
Mike
by
Colasanti.
Matt Bean. But it's
Talking
enough for a
about
first
14,
down.
Enough for a first down. It'll be 1st and 10 for the
13-yard
Black
gain,
Hats.
1st and 10 from
their own
their
31
own
yard line.
31-yard line.
And Ramirez was right there for the block. If he did a little bit of a better job, perhaps they could have gotten that going the other way and picked up more yardage, but he got the 9 yards he needed, which was huge. Not only does it give them a fresh set of downs now, but it pushes them out from being right in front of their end zone.
And Galern gets it, and he makes 2 or 3 guys miss. He would have been taken down at the
Black
line of
Hats carrying the
scrimmage.
play number
Instead,
11,
he
Ben
gets
Galern.
3 yards, or 5
Picks up
yards.
about 4 yards. It'll bring up second down.
2nd and 5 from their own 36, as Rhinebeck is chewing away at that clock. They got it with about 10 and 11 minutes now. 6 and change.
That's the benefit of being a running first offense, in that if you have a lead and you can just milk the clock as much as you want.
This one handed off to Galern again, and he'll get the first down to the 43.
Black Hat carry again by number 11, Ben Galern. Goes for 7 yards. That's enough for a first down. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Black Hats from their own 45
Rhinebeck
yard
has a
line.
good combination of runners they're using. About four different runners. Cueto is running as a quarterback, Galern, Colasanti, and Simon.
And that's so important to a running attack, having those multiple options to hand it off to. This way you won't wear someone down over the course of the season.
And this one will be handed off to Simon, and he'll get 5 yards. 2nd and 5
Black Hat carrying the
from
play number
midfield.
28, Tyler Simon. Picks
The
up about
Rhinebeck
5 yards.
offensive
It'll bring up
line is
second down and
dominating the
5.
line of scrimmage. They're pushing Pine Plains back, preventing the Bombers from getting at all near the backfield, which allows the runners to get out in space and pick up positive yardage.
So it'll be 2nd and 5 from midfield with 5:35 unofficially left in this first half as the clock is there. And it's a swing pass to Mike Colasanti, and it'll go for 15
And the
yards.
pass
So that's a
complete to
pass
number 13,
from
Mike
Cueto to
Colasanti.
Colasanti for 15 yards.
And that was good for 15 yards. It'll bring up 1st and 10 for the
Pine Plains
Black Hats.
35, and
Inside the Bombers'
Rhinebeck can
territory
score
from their
here.
35-yard line.
wouldn't be over, but it would be a big hill to climb for Pine Plains, the way their offense has struggled.
For sure, and Colasanti is so dangerous when he gets out into space. You saw it right there. He was able to make 2 defenders miss on his way to picking up those 15 yards.
Rhinek's first timeout, so we'll be right back here on LMC Varsity Sports. Rhinek 19-0.
We'd like to remind all fans that next...
Back here on LMC Varsity Sports following the first timeout taken by Coach Nick Iannello and Rhinek. Pedro Cueto will get the snap and he'll... Oh, another fumble by Rhinek. Coming off was player's helmet from Pine Plains. And it's recovered by Rhinek. So
Black Hat fumble on the play, recovered by the Bombers.
It was recovered by Marcus Hay.
They will take over first down and 10 from their own 35-yard line.
He went to hand it off to Tyler Simon, but
Cueto and Simon, their hands kind of met and the ball went flying.
Well, that was an awkward play there. I don't know if Cueto was supposed to hand it off to Simon or it looked like they were going to go for the fake, but Simon kept his hand in there just a second too long, jarring it away from Cueto and forcing the fumble, giving Pine Plains a big opportunity here with just under 4.5 minutes to go in the first half.
I agree, Ian. It looked like it was gonna be a keeper, like a QB option, like a fake, and then he was gonna keep it. But Simon looked like he went too far with his hand or something, and he got under it. Which you're not supposed to, but the defense is up to it. Once again, a fourth fumble of the day, lost by Rhinek, still up 19-0, and immediately stopped on the play.
good tackle made by one of the captains, Francisco Branca.
He's been making a lot of them.
And Stratcher couldn't go anywhere.
Play, tackled for a loss by number 51,
4 yards
Francesco
on that
Branca. That goes to a 4-yard loss. It'll bring up second down and 14 for the Bombers, and that brings us to the 4-minute warning of the first half.
4-minute warning here as the clock stops. It's not a timeout or anything, just clock stops. But we've seen a couple sacks, but a lot of tackles for loss by the defense, which when you're pitching a shutout makes sense. But the defense has been impressive.
Rhinek's been dominating the line of scrimmage on both sides, both their defensive line and the offensive line. And that's been huge in giving them the 19-0 lead here.
And that one's fumbled, but they say it's a forward pass.
Well, right
the
as
indication on the field was that was a forward pass that fell incomplete.
Tackled and brought to the ground, he just kind of launched it ahead.
That will bring up third down
in the
and
direction
long for the
of one of his teammates, but still a good play there for Rhinek is they'll take the incomplete for sure.
As it was Caleb McCall who picked it up after, but it was dead because it was incomplete. Clock will stop, 3rd and 14 with 3:43 to go, 19-0. Pine Plains will get the ball to start the second half as they deferred, and Rhinek got it and returned it for a touchdown from Pedro Cueto. And that'll be a pitch, nice pitch made, and just stepping out of bounds at the last second, and not agreeing with it was Evan Proper. But nonetheless, that was a good play, even though it just went for a couple of yards. It's a play you see on like first or second down, not third.
Pine Plains carry goes for about 7 yards.
With nothing working so far for Pine Plains, they needed to pick up any positive yardage that they could
down and 10
to make it a little more manageable and pick up a couple yards, make this punt not so far back in their own territory.
We actually went out about only after 4 yards instead of, thought it was maybe about 7. So it'll be punted by McCall, and they will get away from it as it's called down. It'll be.
And the punt is down by Pine Plains at the Black Hat 45-yard line.
A squib play, so that was going to be
first
tough.
Down and 10 with 3:26
they were able to get
go
away from it, which
half.
was the smart play.
A high arcing punt that didn't go far. The best thing for that is to just let the kicking team recover it and take the positive field position. Too many times you'll see a receiving player just try to make a hero play at it and try to pick it up for a return. Just get away, take the good field position. You're already starting at your own 45 right near midfield.
So Pedro Cueto will get it, and he'll pass it, and it'll be caught to the wide open open wide receiver and then tackled by Matt Beam
And
as
the pass
Matt
is complete.
Quartararo.
To number 88, Matt Quartararo.
Got behind the back line.
27
Gain of
yards.
close to
This
30
defense,
yards will
all
bring up a
Cueto
first
had to
down
do
and 10 for the
was
Black
loft it
Hats.
in there for
From the
his
Bombers,
tall
29-yard
receiver.
line.
That's exactly what he did. And a big pickup here. Rhineck moving the ball just 30 yards away from adding on to this score. And they have plenty of time with 3 minutes left in the second quarter.
Matt Quartararo.
27-yard TD, 27-yard reception, excuse me, as Cueto on the keeper gets about 10 yards and goes out.
And on the carry for the Black Hats, number
Around
8,
the
Pedro
20.
Cueto.
And on that play, they worked the fake well. Last time we saw them try to go with the
Knocked
fake
out of bounds
handoff.
after a
There was
9-yard gain. It'll bring up second
turnover
down.
on the fumble. Simon did a good job of selling the
Correction, that was
fake,
enough for
but
a first
keeping
down.
his hands away from knocking the ball out.
It'll be first and 10
Got
for the
the
Black
first
Hats
down,
from the
first and
Bombers'
10.
17-yard line.
From the Pine Plains 17 with 2:45 and counting. So Cueto will get the snap, fake to Simon, and another fumble, picked up though this time. And Galern will go down, but Colasante, excuse me.
Colasante doing a good job of staying with
Black
that
Hat carrying the play, number
and not
13,
falling
Mike
on it
Colasante.
right away. It bounced up high enough where you could pick it up and try to gain more
Goes
yardage.
for about no gain. It'll bring
Although
up second
sometimes
down.
the way the fumbles have been working and they've been going through, you do want to just fall on it, but it worked out that way.
Still plenty of time here as Rhineck inside the red zone at the Pine Plains 18.
Back to the line of scrimmage, 2nd and 10.
You know, the ball, he's in the middle.
That's false start on Rhineck. 2nd and 15 from their own 23.
And prior to-
159.
prior to
The key
play,
here,
we
though,
have a
for
false start
Rhineck
against
is
the Black Hats.
not giving the ball back to Pine Plains before the half.
After the
here.
5-yard
If you
penalty,
do, they
it'll
don't have
still
much
be
time
second
left.
down.
I don't think you want to worry about
Well, yeah.
whether you give the ball back to Pine Plains or not. The more important thing at this spot in the field, getting in the end zone. You have a minute 45 remaining, and all you have to do is pick up 23 yards. Of course, easier said than done, but the end zone is right there.
Because you're right, the defense has been dominating, so that isn't really a problem. And getting around it was Colasante, and he fights off another tackle, and he'll go out at the
Black Hat carrying the play, number 13,
12-yard
Mike
line.
Colasante.
Colasante's so tough to bring down. You see him continually breaking tackles. Looked like he was going to go down after only a 4 or 5 yard pickup, but
Picks up
fighting
10
for
yards
the
and bring
extra
up third down and
yardage.
6.
And now it's 3rd down and a very manageable 6 yards, just under a minute and a half here.
got out of bounds, so the clock will stop. The 13. It'll be 3rd and 6. Cueto will drop back to pass towards the end zone, and a nice catch in the end
Black Hat
zone
touchdown
by Matt
number 88. Matt Quartararo.
25-0, perfectly
Pass
executed
thrown
as
by
Cueto
Murray,
rolled
Pedro
out and floated it to Quartararo, and it'll be a 13-yard touchdown for Quartararo, and a good play from Cueto and Quartararo to hook up there.
Well, now Cueto gets his 3rd type of touchdown on the day. First returning the kickoff, then a rushing touchdown earlier, and now a passing touchdown.
As that one is good. He's curving it in with Soriano to make it 26-0.
The Black Hat extra point is good by number 5, Kenny Soriano.
So we'll be right back on LMC Varsity Sports. A minute 18 to go. 26-0, Rhineck. Back here on LMC Varsity Sports, Soriano with the kick, then it'll roll all the way through the end zone for a touchback. It's his first touchback of the game.
That one, a low arcing kick, just went right over all of the Pine Plains receivers.
And the kickoff carries out through the back of the end zone for a touchback. It'll be first down and 10 for the Bombers from their own 20-yard line.
First and 10 for Pine Plains from their own 20 with 1:18 to go unofficially. It's kept on the field.
So now for Pine Plains, of course, you want to try to get in the end zone here and get at least one score back before halftime, but you want to at least try to figure out something that'll work on offense, as they've been unable to get anything going.
And they'll just run it here with Proper, and he'll be taken down by a swarm of guys, including Bronca.
And on the carry,
The
we
Bombers
have
do have a pair of timeouts.
And on the tackle for the Black Cats, number 68, Yosef Jukum.
Might not use it unless they get like a reception here, where they push it across. They don't want to give it back to Rhineck again. Although I think Rhineck would just, depending on where they get it though. If they get a turnover here, just to try to add to the lead, but it's handed off here and taken, and getting an opening here is the running back, as that was Stratcher, and now you think about taking those timeouts.
And Bombers carry on the play,
28.5, but you get it to the Rhineck 49.
Where it'll be first down and 10 for Pine Plains.
I mean,
That air horn you heard sound was the halftime buzzer for the field hockey game going on behind us, where the Rhineck Panthers are winning 3-0. Again, at halftime of the field hockey game, the Rhineck Panthers ahead 3-0.
The clock continues to run. This could be one of the last plays of the half. They should have called timeout. Well, they'll air it out here, and they'll get it. 6 seconds. They should call timeout when he goes down, and they will.
Bombers pass complete to number 7.
1 second left, second or less, they'll call a timeout at the 33.
Picks up about 15 yards. It'll bring up first down for.
So this will be the final play of the half, and we'll be right back on LMC Varsity
We do
Sports.
have a timeout on the field.
Back here on LMC Varsity Sports, final play of the first half, and it'll be a long pass coming here from the 35-yard line of Rhineck, and goes through the hands of Colasanti, so that'll end the first half.
And that pass falls
prevent
incomplete. It brings us
defense
to the conclusion of the first half.
Rhineck, as they will go to the half up 26-0. So we'll be right back with the second half here on LMC Varsity Sports. Back here on LMC Varsity Sports alongside Ian Sachs, I'm Charlie McGraw. And the start of the second half, as they deferred, did Rhineck a nice kick there, as all the kicks have been getting better from on the kickoff by Kenny Soriano. That one was dropped but picked up right away, so I guess wasn't blown dead like on the previous play, and getting to about the 28-yard line of his own team is Caleb McCall, and that's where Pine Plains will start in trailing 26-0. It's not undoable. It's not
and with the kickoff
not
return
doable,
for the
but
Bombers,
it's
they
a
carry the
possible
ball
comeback.
out
But
to their own 26-yard
at first, they just need to move the ball better.
First down and 10.
Well, that's all they need to do. They need to start out with a good possession here, starting off the second half. Smart choice to defer, because now you get an opportunity to get on the board right at the beginning of the second half and break into this 26-point hole. They just need to find something to work on offense. They did have some success in the latter part of the first half, especially on their last drive, but they just simply ran out of time.
But that was a rare. We've seen some decent passes thrown by Beam, but that time he did
And
not
the Bombers pass
throw
falls
it well.
incomplete
It's
on the
short of
play.
Evan Proper.
The pass was tipped
Second and
by
10.
the Black Cats, number 51, Francesco Branca.
As it'll be second and 10.
And after the incompletion, it'll bring up
From their
second
own
down
26.
and 10 for the Bombers.
I think they need to start the drive with their running game here. Of course, they looked to pass right out of the gate, but I think they should just go for the run, which will allow them to open up the passing game.
And Pine Plains didn't like something there. It looked like not everyone was in the huddle, so they called timeout. We'll be right back on LMC Varsity Sports. One play down in the second half. Still 26-0 Panthers. Back here on LMC Varsity Sports following the first timeout of the second half. Only 14 seconds in. Pine Plains will run a toss play, and once again, Francesco Bronco with a tackle for a loss, and a huge play there to
And on
snuff
the play,
it
a
out.
loss of 6 yards. It'll
Seems
bring
like
up third
Pine
down
Plains
and
calls
long for the Bombers.
timeout. They call timeout before twice and stuff. After that, they don't really use them wisely because they come out and they don't run good plays.
Well, Branca just dominating the senior defensive end, getting around the edge and getting into the backfield, forcing the tackle for a loss, and now it's 3rd and 16. Pine Plains needed to start fast in the second half, and so far they haven't done so. 2 plays in, -6 yards to show for it.
And this one will be snapped and taken off his beam. He'll get by a couple guys, but just get back to the line of scrimmage, if that. And it'll be 4th down and 15. Not have to punt from their own 19.
Well, on the low snap,
third down
nothing
play
he
goes
could
for
really
no
do
gain.
about
It'll
it.
bring up
Once
4th
he
down and long
collected
for
the
the
ball,
Bombers.
he was surrounded by 3 Black Hat defenders. Lucky to just get back to the line of scrimmage and keep it at 4th and 16 now.
Yeah. So we'll see once again for his about 6th or 7th punt, Caleb McCall. And it'll be a good punt. And Galern will get it at his own 47. He'll weave around. He'll get by 1 or 2 defenders, and now he'll head up the field, a stiff arm, and he's tackled, though, by Luke
Black Hat return on the play by
Imperato.
number 11, Ben Galern.
So that's a
Carries the
11-yard
ball out past
return.
midfield into Bombers territory. Where
So
it'll
it'll be 1st and 10 on
for
Pine
Black
Plains
Hats.
is 42.
Well, he was looking to go the other way, saw a couple defenders, cut it back, almost tackled for a little bit of a loss after picking it up at his own 47, but then with a nice 10-yard pickup on the run. And now Rhinebeck starting again in Pine Plains territory. So Rhinebeck definitely winning the field position battle today.
False start. False start against
And
Rhinebeck.
prior to the play, we have
1st
a
and
false start
15.
against the Black Hats. Then after the 5-yard penalty, it'll bring up 1st down and 15.
You know, it's amazing, Ian, how they've fumbled and lost the ball 4 times in the first half, but because the defense has been so good and Pine Plains' offense hasn't been good, they haven't. Not only did they not allow any points from that, but they're up 26-0. Not often in a game. I mean, that's the good thing about football, you know.
Well, this hasn't been the cleanest game on either sides, but Rhinebeck has certainly, Rhinebeck's miscues have not been as costly as the Pine Plains miscues.
A lot of those miscues were on big, like, 3rd downs or plays, and then they just have to punt.
But you
And
could
again,
tell
we have a flag
right
on
out of the
play,
gate,
indication
right
was an
after
illegal block
the
against the Black
run,
Hats.
the kickoff return, run back all the way for the touchdown. This was Rhinebeck's day from the get-go. Definitely saw it in the first half, and they look to continue it here again in the second half.
Couple penalties, though. The 1st and 16 now is a legal block in the back.
So Rhinebeck will be forced to have to take a snap in
that
its
penalty,
own
there's a 10-yard
territory,
mark
which it
off.
hasn't done much
It
today,
will bring up 1st
starting
down and
with field position
20
on the other side of midfield most of the
for the Black
time.
Hats.
Albeit it's on the 47, so it's 4 yards from the other team's territory and 3 yards from midfield. First time we've seen shotgun, though. And Cueto gets away from 1 or 2 guys. First time we've seen shotgun from Rhinebeck. We've seen shotgun every play, basically, from the
Black Hat carry the play
Bombers.
by number 8, Pedro Cueto.
And Cueto had space there, but Puccello was
And
standing
we have a timeout on
basically
the
in
field for
no
an injured
man's
player.
land, which Cueto ran right into him, and now we'll take a timeout with the injury on the field.
Back here on LMC Varsity Sports, so unfortunately Matt Hansen, a defensive lineman, had to be carted off the field as it looked like he hurt his leg. He twisted his ankle or something on that last tackle. Hopefully he'll be okay, but he's on the other side of the field, the training staff looking at him. Training from both teams this year, obviously.
On the play.
Ryan Eck always has a trainer
For
here.
the Black Hats, number
The
13,
Pine Plains team
Mike
brought their own
Colasanti.
trainer,
However, there is
too.
a flag down on the field.
3 penalties if this is against Rhinebeck on this sequence. A little sloppy. But they can afford to be up
Yeah,
as long as
but
they're not turning it over.
yeah, with the big lead, I mean, obviously going in the wrong direction, and you want to be able to build from a win like that and not stumble to the finish line. But
There was a holding
still
penalty against
plenty
the
of
Black
time.
Hats. However, Pine Plains has elected to decline the penalty
That's a smart
to bring
move
up
by Pine
third down.
Plains to decline. Yeah, third down, because it'll be 3rd and 13. If they accepted it, it would have been like 2nd and 17.
Decline the holding penalty called on Rhinebeck.
And they'll fake it, and Cueto will air it out. He scrambles around looking for somebody, has nobody, and he'll throw it, and it's caught! What a catch! In triple coverage, Pedro Cueto throws it to Tyler Simon.
Black Hat
and
catch on the play, but number
Simon's
28,
hurt.
Tyler Simon.
He comes down hard, and here comes the athletic staff as the trainer just came back from driving the cart over. So we'll be right back on LMC Varsity Sports, another injury.
However, on the catch, we have a timeout.
Back here on LMC Varsity Sports following the nice 35-yard pass from Pedro Cueto to Tyler Simon. It looked like he hurt his knee or ankle somewhere on his leg. And
I think he just cramped up there. He walked off the field on his own power, so
they need the cart.
should see him back in the game pretty soon.
Pedro Cueto looking for another one, and he gets in despite getting hit.
Black Hat touchdown on the carry by number 8, Pedro Cueto.
Cueto gets his 4th touchdown, a kickoff return, a TD run, now a 15-yard TD run, and a 13-yard TD pass, 4 for him. So we know who we're interviewing after the game.
He got to the outside, had space there, had the pylon in his target line, knew exactly where he needed to get to, and did it. Peter Cueto, our player of the game today.
And the extra point by Soriano is no good, wide left. So Rhinebeck
And the
leads
extra point
32-0.
was no good.
Soriano now 2 of 4 on extra points. We'll be right back here on LMC Varsity Sports. Back here on LMC Varsity Sports following the 4th touchdown of the day by Pedro Cueto. Could have had 5 if the ref didn't get in his way on the interception. Yeah, because on that touchdown where the ref got in his way, I think Ben Galern then scored the touchdown run. Or they might have fumbled that. No, they did. Ben Galern scored it. As this one's kicked off by Soriano. As Cueto's had a 90-yard kickoff return, first play of the game, a 5-yard TD run, a 15-yard TD run, and a 13-yard TD pass, and a 35-yard interception where he's stopped by the ref, which was obviously an accident, but still. As Pine Plains takes over. And Ian, if you're Pine Plains, you just want to, as we said before, just move the ball and, they've been into Rhinebeck territory, I think, twice, and that was when they recovered the fumbles. Their offense
After
probably
the kickoff,
only have been
it'll be
about
first down
50 or
and 10
60
for the
yards
Bombers.
of total offense, if
From their own
that.
20-yard line.
They
And
were
on the
fortunate
tackle
to
on the
get those
kickoff,
2
number
fumble
70,
recoveries,
Gennaro
but
Bianco.
unable to do anything with it. The one drive where we actually saw them pick up some yardage was right at the end of the first half when they only had about 1 minute and 15 seconds to march upfield. They
And again,
got
on the air horn that you just
a
heard
fair
sound,
amount of
that indicated
yardage
the end of the field
on
hockey
that
game today.
drive, but just
Rhinebeck
simply ran out of
Panthers
time. They got
winning
to
3-0 over the
about the
visitors from
Rhinebeck
Hastings High School.
35-yard line, had 1 play left, tried a Hail Mary to the end zone, but to no avail.
And tackle by Christian Frobasili, who just came in the game. As it's 1 yard gain.
Bombers carry on the play. Picks Picks up about a yard. In on the tackle for the Black Hats, number 60, Christian Frabasile.
In the backfield will be Beam and Proper. Beam will get it and hand off to Proper, and he will get a close to the first down marker, so good chunk of yardage gain there by Proper. It'll be, to give him the first down, move those chains, and it'll be first and 10 from the 31.
Plains picks up about 12 yards.
That's good,
that results in a first down.
9
It'll be first and 10.
After a first down play,
from
where
their
we
own
didn't gain much,
32-yard line.
it's a good sign for the offense. And it would be good for them to try and, obviously they want to score touchdowns, but for next week, you want to get some momentum for your next game.
And right now, if you're Pine Plains, don't worry about the score. Pretend it's a 0-0 ball game. Just try to work at it. Try to figure out what works for you, especially with it being so early in the season.
And that's a big run from the quarterback on the keeper, Matt Beam. He's getting the 30, the 20, and he'll be taken down at the 20-yard line by,
tripped up and knocked out of bounds.
Miguel Santiago and Mike Colasante.
The Bombers with a big gain.
Just as you said, not focused on the score. They have their biggest run of the game, 50 yards.
It'll be first down
and 20 yards away from scoring for the first time.
And that's what they need. Let's see if they can take the momentum from a big play like that and move it and finally finish the job. They've been at this point on the field before, just haven't gotten anywhere past the 20-yard line.
Good job to hold on to the football there. It was Proper. I see everyone was knocking at him, but on the run, he's able to just
goes for no gain. It'll bring him second down. In on the tackle for the Black Hats, number 11, Ben Galern.
Looked like they were trying to knock it loose, and he kept on to it.
Proper swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage, and with nowhere to go, faced 3 Black Hat defenders wrapping him up.
2 backs in the backfield. And the snap will be tossed to Proper, and they snuff it out immediately. Tackled back in the game was Tyler Simon, and Luke Pucella got the tackle for a loss there.
Pine Plains carry goes for a loss. It'll bring up third down and long. In on the tackle for the Black Hats, number 54, Luke Pucella.
And again, we see Rhinebeck continuing to dominate the offensive line of Pine Plains. The nose tackle and D ends for Rhinebeck have done such a good job getting into the Pine Plains backfield.
Especially inside the 20. Another bad snap. That hasn't helped Pine Plains all game, and that's a sack. The long snapper, the center has struggled today, as that is cramping up again after making the sack was Tyler Simon. Also making the sack was Francesco Branca,
and there was a couple Black Hats in on that sack, including number 28, Tyler Simon.
I continue to talk about it, the way that Rhinebeck
it'll bring up fourth down and long for Pine Plains.
Pine Plains backfield, and now after that big run from the Bombers, they've gone 14 yards backwards. So now they face 4th and 24 here, and at this point in the game, you have to go for it. You're already in your opponent's territory. You can't punt it anywhere, and that'd be an incredibly long field goal, so they have to go for it on 4th and 24.
They've struggled inside the Rhinebeck 35 all game. Make a good job recovering on that snap. Throws it up, and it's caught! The catch and a touchdown for Pine Plains, their first of the day. So redeeming himself was Matt Funk, making a beautiful catch, beating the defender, as that was Michael Colasante, and Matt Beam pass complete. That was 35-yard touchdown pass to Matt Funk, who we saw drop 2 possible touchdowns earlier in the game.
And the pocket collapsed so quickly on being there that he was forced to just throw it up right away and put up a 50-50 ball, but coming down with it was Funk for the touchdown.
And if he doesn't, they turn the ball over. Instead, they get 6 points because it was 4th and 15. So this one will be added on, and it's good. So the extra point is good.
And the extra
by
point
Matt
is good.
Funk. So he caught it as Paige Tietmeyer got the snap down.
So we'll be right back on LMC Varsity Sports. No shutout here today, 32-7.
Ryan Eck, 2.5 minutes to go.
Back here on LMC Varsity Sports, 32-7. Coming onto the field late, and they'll kick it right to him.
Is Tyler
Simon, he came right off the bench as he was on the sideline, and they kicked it right to him, probably noticing that. But he'll get it about a 12, 15-yard return, limping basically to the
And
return.
on the kickoff return for the
tackled by
Blackcats, number
Andrew
28,
Holsoppi.
Tyler Simon.
Well, Simon was cramping up earlier and he was having
Return
that
the ball to
attended to on the
approximately the
sideline,
Blackcats'
then realized that he needed to
27-yard
get
line.
out on the field
Where
for
it'll be first down and
the
10.
kickoff, ran onto the field right as Pine Plains was kicking it. They kicked it right to him, but he picked up some positive yardage on it.
On purpose, it looked like. The ball, he couldn't have let it go, but that might have rolled out. It was going to be close. But nonetheless, it was good. He picked it up and ran about 12 yards. And the cramping, yeah, it's good that he's on the sidelines getting it worked out, especially up 25, 32-7. As Rhinebeck has missed a 2-point conversion and 2 extra points. Otherwise, it would be 35, as they've scored 5
Blackcats carrying the
times.
play, number 13,
4 by
Mike
Pedro
Colasanti.
Cueto and 1 by Ben Galern. Another one
Picks
was
up
caught
about
by
5
Matt
yards and
Cora.
bring up second down and
Colorado
5.
thrown by Cueto, and a 2nd and 5 from the 41. About a minute to go in the third quarter, excuse me.
And Simon continues to get looked at over on the Rhinebeck sideline. That left leg continuing to cramp up.
If I'm Rhinebeck, why put him back in the game, Up 25. He's one of your key players. I mean, one of your multiple guys who runs the ball, and he made a nice catch before.
And once again on the carry, number 13, Mike Colasanti.
Colasanti with it.
Picks up about 4 to bring up third down and short for the Blackcats.
Colasanti is hobbled up after that run, so it'll be a
Injury
Rhinebeck
timeout.
timeout.
And we have a
We'll be right
timeout
back
on the
on
field
LMC
for the
Varsity
Blackcats.
Sports.
And while we have this stoppage in play,
Third and
third
one.
down and short for the Blackcats.
Here on LMC Varsity Sports alongside Ian Sachs, I'm Troy McGraw.
It'll be Cueto bring out the offense, and he'll just sneak it for the first down. So it'll be a 1st and 10 for Rhinebeck at their own 47 with
And on the quarterback keeper, number
Like
8,
15
Pedro
seconds to
Cueto,
go in
picks
this
up about
third
3
quarter.
yards. It'll be enough for a first down. It'll be first and 10 for the Blackcats from just their side of midfield. That actually brings us to the conclusion of the third quarter.
back here on LMC Varsity Sports. Final quarter, Rhinebeck up 32-7. 25, but it's a 4-possession game because even if Pine Plains scored 3 times, it went for a 2-point conversion each time, it would only give them 24. So a 4-score game, and Cueto with a big run, and he is ripped down by his jersey
Blackcat carrying the play,
on a
number 8,
touchdown-saving
Pedro
tackle
Cueto.
by Marcus
Picks
Hay.
up about 15 yards, enough for a first down. It'll be first
Nice
and 10 for the
run by
Blackcats.
Cueto.
Now inside Bombers territory.
Of 22 yards.
Cueto continues to do damage here today. He's absolutely dominating Pine Plains. Now we see him running himself and got a good chunk of yardage there. But again, I'm so impressed with the Rhinebeck line that they continue to dominate the defensive front of Pine Plains.
That one tossed to Colasanti, and he will get taken down hard on the far sideline.
by Caleb McCall.
Strong
Blackcat
tackle
carrying the
right
play, number
there,
13,
right at
Mike
the
Colasanti.
far sideline.
Picks up about 6 yards. It'll bring up 2nd down and 4.
And for Rhinebeck, all they need to do is just continue to run the ball. That's what they've had success doing, and it runs the clock down. As now that's their main focus, and just trying to get out of here with a win with a 25-point lead.
Take care of the football. Don't fumble for the 5th time. Not only did they fumble 5 times, they lost. Four times they lost it all 4 times. Delay a game. Timeout, Rhinebeck. So they'll step aside and be right back here on LMC Varsity.
And prior to the snap, we have a timeout on the field.
Back here on LMC Varsity Sports, following the timeout, a little miscommunication. I think play to call or something there. Guido will get it, and the first carry of the game for Evan Falco. Falco will bring it as the flag is
and
thrown.
Black Cats carry number 2, Evan Falco. However, there is a flag down on the field.
Falco, the freshman running back, getting some action here in the 4th quarter, and good to see. And that's what you can have when you're with a large lead in the
and
4th quarter.
On the field was an illegal block in the back
action
against the
to
Black
some
Cats.
players who normally wouldn't be in the thick of it.
And after the
But
10-yard mark off from the spot of the
after
foul,
the
it'll
block
bring up
in the
2nd
back,
down and 9.
that pushes Rhinebeck back. But it's still 2nd and just 9.
There was no, I had nothing. I had barely, I used the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, the legal block in the back is not a loss of down, so it's 2nd and 9. It was just like 2nd and 4. Not a big loss. And Cueto will run for the 1st down.
Cueto continues to still fight for more yardage.
Black Cat carrying the
It's almost
play,
like he would
number
be
8,
down
Pedro
in the middle of the
Cueto.
field and then broke free and broke
Picks
to his
up about
left.
12 yards.
Picked
That's
up
enough for a 1st
a
down.
couple
It'll be
extra
1st
yards
and 10
there.
for the
Still
Black
already
Cats.
had the 1st down.
From
but
the
why not
Bombers,
fight
19
for
yard
some
line.
extra yardage?
I smelt it like way back. I was like, oh, yeah, I smelled it like I smelled it when we got up the steps.
And that one will be handled by Cueto, looking for his 5th touchdown of the day, and he will be just short.
He jukes forwards, and Cueto's so agile. I love his parallel speed.
And again on the carry, number 8, Pedro Cueto.
He goes forward and then jukes over to the side, avoiding
Picks
the
up another
tackles.
1st down. It'll be 1st down and goal from inside the 5-yard line.
And Rhinebeck knocking on the door again, looking for more points here, building on to their already 25-point lead.
Oh my god.
And that'll be a touchdown for Rhinebeck.
Black Cat touchdown.
Cueto
The quarterback
takes it
keeper,
up
number
the
8,
middle.
Pedro Cueto.
And he just continues to add to his day. Touchdown number 5 for the quarterback.
Almost was 6 on the interception return, but yeah, he has 5 of the 6 touchdowns. 3 runs now, a 5-yard, 15-yard, and that was just a 2-yard. 13-yard TD pass and 90-yard kickoff return, the first play of the game, and they'll let Soriano try and go 3 for 5 on extra points as he's 2 for 4 in the day, the lefty. 38-7, Rhinebeck. The snap is good by Soriano.
And the extra point by number
So it's
5, Kenny
39-7,
Soriano
so
is
we'll
good.
be right back on LMC Varsity Sports, all Rhinebeck here on LMC TV. And Soriano will kick it off again. A touchback earlier, and that one is dropped at the 3-yard line by Luke Imperiato, and he is tackled by a player who grabs his knee, gets injured. So we'll be right back. LMC Varsity Sports, another injury timeout, our 4th in the 2nd half. Back here on LMC Varsity Sports, we'll see the backup
Quarterback once again, Andrew Holsopple.
Jukum went down with the injury after making the stop on the kick return. Looked like it was another cramp for Ryneck.
one of the tri-captains on special. He was in on special teams.
The
We have
Bombers carry
another
goes for
injured
a
player
short gain. It'll bring
now
up
on
second
Pike
down.
Lane. So we'll be right back on LMC Varsity Sports.
Back here on LMC Varsity Sports, good to see the player. Oh, Caleb McCall just limp off the field.
And so for Pine Plains, what you want to do is just score and work on getting the ball ahead and figuring out what's going to work for you moving forward, as that seems to work pretty nicely.
That's a late hit. They blew the whistle. He was out of bounds. He stepped out, and then he was hit by
One of the Ryneck
Bombers
backups,
carry was enough for a
Steven
first down. There is a flag on the field.
D'Erico.
and
Yeah, that was a good run by the backup quarterback there, Andrew Holsopple.
Maybe they have something in him that we just haven't seen so far today. He's now on his about fourth or fifth play. Of course, the first time we saw him was the fourth down in the first half, where the high snap just cost him any opportunity at
And
making a
he's
play on it.
official
And
as a personal foul
that
against the
one
Black Hats.
obviously was some
That'll
promising
add another
play
15
there.
yards on to the original play, and it'll be first and 10 for the Bombers from midfield.
it was Miguel Santiago who hit him because the coach Ianello took him out and told him. And he said it was right on the sidelines, but they had blown the whistle like 3 times. You knew he was out of bounds and he's on the sidelines. You can't hit him there. Another bad snap. Alsopple, a nice arm from the backup, and it's caught, and that'll be a touchdown.
Pine Plains. So Matt Funk.
Bombers
Catches it
touchdown!
on the bobble, and then he catches it, and it's 50 yards. And how about Alsopple?
2 plays on this drive. First, a long run that then gets added yardage to it thanks to the penalty, and then a beautiful throw down the far sideline. Alsopple finding Funk for the connection, and some promising sequence there from Pine Plains.
And the Bombers air it out.
48-yard touchdown from Alsopple to Funk after the 15-yard penalty on the sideline after the Alsopple run. So Alsopple's at quarterback 3 plays, including the play he came in, which was a very tough situation. It was on 4th down. And it was coming in. Funk will try the extra point. It's high, picked up by the snapper. He throws it toward the line, and it's incomplete as it was a high snap. He couldn't get it down. They were rushing, and
And the conversion was no good.
He flipped it to Funk. Maybe Funk could have done something, but he didn't see him. So we'll be right back on LMC Varsity Sports.
Back here on LMC Varsity Sports following the 48-yard touchdown.
Andrew Holsopple to Matt Funk, the incomplete, it's a squib kick.
And the
Funk.
kickoff is covered
Down
for the Black Hats.
39-13,
Number 11,
trying to make
Ben
something
Galern.
happen there on the squib kick. And the first time, actually it was on the high
35-yard
snap, so
line.
they
It'll
weren't
be
able to
first down
convert the
and
extra
10
point.
for the Black Hats.
But Ryneck will take over here and see if we have a backup, new quarterback. It looks like it should be.
Yeah, it'll be number 9, it looks like, Philippe.
Danza? Cueto's,
He said, I don't know. Sorry, Anna. I guess you're out of the
Cueto is playing? Okay.
Cueto is in there, but looks like he'll still be in there at quarterback. Maybe a little wildcat formation coming from Ryneck.
Pine Plains calls timeout.
And we have a timeout
And we'll be
on
right
the
back
field
on
for the
LMC
Bombers.
Varsity Sports. Back here on LMC Varsity Sports following the timeout by Pine Plains. Ryneck will take over, up 39-13 with 5:14 to go. And we will have a new quarterback, and it'll be a fumble on the snap and recovered by Ryneck
It was
and
a
blown
fumble
down.
on the
It'll be
snap.
Evan Falco,
The
backup
play was
quarterback.
called dead.
Do you have something to say?
So interesting, they're
Short
going to
loss
put
will bring
in,
up second down and 11.
put back in Cueto, but when Pine Plains calls timeout, then he goes to the backup in Falco. And we saw Falco play running back and wide receiver before. He came around for that play that got called back, remember?
Well, that's the beautiful thing about high school football, in that players play multiple 2, 3, 4 different positions. Versatility is a feature on all high school football teams.
On the carry for the Blackcats,
D.
number 42,
Erico.
Steven Dorico.
Dorico, excuse me.
Picks up about 4 yards. It'll bring up 3rd down.
4-minute warning. That is the 4-minute warning.
So 4 minutes to go.
Now the clock is right.
And Rhinebeck here just will look to continue to run and pound the ball.
And they'll hand it off. So it'll be 4th down, so Rhinebeck will punt.
So
On
that's
the carry
run
for the
by
Blackcats,
Mohammed
number 33,
Abdallah.
Mohammed Abdallah.
So it'll be 4th and 7.
Result of the game, the play was no gain. It'll bring up 4th down for the Blackcats.
So the punt team jogs on to the field, and we'll see.
First time we've seen that? No, second? First?
I think first time Ronex needed to punt today.
Yeah, the first or second?
But of course, with their good field position that they've had the majority of the game, even when they've faced 4th down opportunities, they haven't been in punt distances.
And that's a good punt. Really nice punt.
45, 50 yards by Matt.
Quartararo taken by Holsapple. And Holsapple will take it, but it will not matter as there's a flag on
And
the
on the big
play.
return
There was an
for
illegal
Pine Plains,
block
however,
on
there
Pine
is a
Plains.
flag on the
So
field.
that will come back for illegal block on Pine Plains, so it'll be all negated.
And that's a 50-yard penalty there.
60.
Because it's from the spot of the foul, right? 60-yard
And the
penalty.
indication is an illegal
He got
block in
all the
back
way up to
against
the
Pine Plains.
20-yard line, the
Now
Rhinebeck
on
20-yard
the
line.
return, it'll be 1st down and 10 for the Bombers.
So you hate to see that. You're starting to gain some momentum. You have a huge run on the punt return, and all negated by a block in the back.
Mark off for the penalty. It'll be 1st down and 10 for the Bombers from their own 20-yard line.
Yeah, so it would have been 1st and 10 on the Rhinebeck 18 or 20. Now it's 1st and 10 on your own 20 because of an illegal block in the back. But who knows, if they didn't have that illegal block in the back, would they have tackled him? You never know. They could have made that tackle there.
That's why they do mark it back down there. But now we'll see Hartzapfel in at quarterback, and a little confusion for Pine Plains as they're trying to shuffle players in and out.
And they call timeout again. So we'll be right back on LMC Varsity Sport 212.
And again, with this stoppage in play, we'd
Pine
like to
Plains
make
final
sure to
timeout.
remind all fans one more time about...
Back here on LMC Varsity Sports 212, handed off remaining. Evan Proper gets the handoff from the quarterback, Holsapple.
Bombers carry on the play. Picks up about 13 yards. That is enough for a 1st down.
It is
It
first
will be
and
first down, 10
as there's a
for Pine
13-yard
Plains.
run by Evan Proper. So Pine
From their own
Plains
33-yard
looking to get
line.
to 20 points if they can score a touchdown and add the extra point. It'd be good momentum at least.
Well, we see some flashes of a good offense from Pine Plains, especially. I like the way Hartzapfel comes in and he's not afraid to throw the ball and he's accurate. But we saw earlier in the game some of their receivers just dropping point-blank passes. They make those completions.
As Holsapfel goes to the end zone, he's got Pedro Peter Cueto to beat, and he is ruled down as he fumbled it, and now they're racing for it. Yeah, Cueto got him.
And the indication by the official was no fumble on the play. He was down by contact.
So another impressive play by
And after the
Holsapfel.
big carry, it'll be 1st down and 10 for the Bombers in Blackcat territory.
They were on like the 2, and they get to the 19, so about a 49
Spotted
yard
at
gain.
the Black Hat
And
17-yard
it's
line.
1st and 10 at the Rhinebeck 18 with 43 seconds to go. About 2 plays left for Pine Plains with no timeouts. They do stop the clock if they'll get another first down, though.
The clock continues to run here. Of course, after the chains are set up, the clock begins to run again.
At this point, Pine Plains, this might be the last play of the game if they don't get out of bounds, or if it's an incomplete, unless it's an incomplete pass or get out of bounds. But House Apples look good. If I'm Matt Beam, I'm a little worried about my job as quarterback, and that one's fumbled and
there's a
it's
fumble on the
fumbled
play.
and ripped down by Luke Pucella.
so that'll put the cherry on top of the sundae, and I think that's as Rhinebeck will probably won 1 play in victory formation, and that'll about do it, if that.
And that will be the final
That
play
is the
of
final
today's
play of the game.
game.
So Pucella with the walk-off fumble makes the final
Black
score
Hats
39-13.
Finding
and they
victory, 39-13.
Denied the
We
chance
hope all
to
fans
score.
enjoyed today's
20 points
game.
for Pine
Again,
Plains.
reminder, 4 o'clock, boys soccer will be beginning
A
against
strong
Winebrook.
play from
And we hope to see you all back here
beginning
next
to
weekend
end for Rhinebeck.
for
Of course,
homecoming
started off
2017.
so brightly with the 3 touchdowns in the first quarter, all capped off at the beginning of the game by the kickoff return on the opening kickoff, and a beautiful win for Rhinebeck to move up to 1-1 on the season and drop Pine Plains to 500 as well.
So we'll be right back with post-game show and interviews here at LMC Varsity Sports. Back here with Pedro Peter Cueto. And Pedro, you had 5 total touchdowns. You were in a zone out there today, and you almost had 6, but you ran into the official on the interception. What was going right for you today?
Everybody's doing their assignments, and it really helped us out to get that W.
Yeah, and a W you guys needed after losing at Haldane last week. What was the difference between today and last Saturday?
Well, we were a young team the first game, and I feel like we prepared a lot better this week. And I feel like we did a lot better with the X's and O's, and I think that gave us a W.
What do you guys think you'll be able to do to get the preparation for next week in order to get another win next week?
Just do the same thing. Just keep working hard. Do what we've been doing.
Welcome back to the LMC TV post-game show. Ian Sachs alongside Francisco Branca. And Francisco, you guys dominated on all 3 phases today. How were you able to have so much success against Pine Plains?
Well, it was just a communication. We had a lot of penalties last game. We had over 120 yards of penalties. We just fixed that up now. We only had 30. So that just played a big part in this. And also we got our blocking schemes down. I mean, everybody did their assignment and we just played good football.
You guys really won the battle in the trenches, both the offensive line and the defensive line. What did you see in that part of the game?
Well, on defense, we just came off the ball hard. Because last game, we just sat a lot, and they just ran right at us, and we played in their hands. But this game, we just came off the ball, and we forced them to make a mistake, and that's what happened.
The opening kickoff run from Pedro Peter Cueto really gave you guys the momentum the rest of the afternoon. How important was it to get such a jolt right out of the gate?
Well, I mean, it's just great to get a kickoff return, and it only took us 16 seconds to get our first points on the game, so that was great for us. And it just, because we were doubted a lot and nobody really believes in us, so that just gave us a big booster, you know what I mean? And it got our crowd behind us.
And now looking ahead to your homecoming game next week, hosting Tuckahoe right back here. What momentum can you take from this as you look ahead to next week?
Well, I mean, I know when they're going to look at film, they're just going to have to, they really have to key up a lot of people, and they might be a little scared seeing what we did today. So I think we have a lot of momentum now because we know what we can do and what we can fix up.
Back here in the post-game show, final score was 39-13 Rhinebeck, and an explosive win, a great individual performance by Pedro Peter Cueto.
5 touchdowns for the star quarterback from Rhinebeck, and 19 points right out of the gate in the first quarter. Started with that kickoff return, and there was no sailing after that for Rhinebeck.
And yeah, the kickoff return really got them started, but it was their defense that they had the shutout going midway through the third quarter, and their defense had some great stands after 4 turnovers in the first half.
And they won the field position battle, which is so key. Their offense was starting around midfield or even in Pine Plains territory, and it's plays like that and field position is the battle in the trenches for these two teams. And Rhinebeck won it today, came away with the victory in their first win of the season.
And both teams are now 1-1 after the win today for Rhinebeck, 39-13. A lot of people to thank for today's Saddle Class, including the CEO, Eric Lewis, COO, Matt Sullivan. Community sports producer is Mr. Rob Moretti. For our camera crew, Sean Kelly, Danelle Clark, and Rob Moretti. Once again, for Ian Sachs, I'm Charlie McGraw saying thanks so much for watching and have a great evening.